morning, and welcome to Lake Country Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Monty Johnson, and my pronouns are he and him. I am your worship leader this week. We welcome all of you to our service, especially those of you who are searching for a spiritual home. Many of us were too once, seeking for something larger than ourselves to which we could belong, a sense of rootedness to hold us as we create meaning together. We do that well here, though not perfectly. In this congregation, we strive not for perfection, but for authenticity and connection. Whether it's your first time with us or your 100th time, we hope that you'll find here questions that stretch you, people to befriend you, and values that challenge you to join us in loving boldly, living justly, and welcoming openly.
In the weeks of the Advent season, the weeks of waiting, we have remembered patience. We have looked to light to dispel oppression. We have pledged to be, do, and seek peace. This week, we remember the foundation of all of these things, love. In this holiday season, throughout the year to come, and always in our lives, may we know that we are loved. May we share the love that we have, and may we be the love we wish to see. Amen. I love you. 3 words. A declarative sentence with a subject, a verb, and an object. 3 simple words. Many words can be substituted for that object. You in the sentence, and that sentence still makes sense. I love chocolate. I love sunsets. I love my dog. I love hiking. I occasionally even remember to love myself. But what really is that thing called love? I think this is kind of an important question for us to be able to answer because our shared faith tradition, using the democratic process of inquiry and logic and debate and compromise, recently chose to place love at the center of all who we are, all that we do. Our UUA bylaws say that love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. It goes on to say we are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Okay, great. But what is love? This section of our bylaws begins by saying love is the power that holds us together. Okay, maybe love is a power. Is it like electricity? Oh, wait, it goes on to say that it's the power that holds us together. Is love more like gravity? Sometimes it can feel that way. But then it goes on to say something about the spiritual discipline of love. Okay, so love is a spiritual discipline. Does that mean love is like yoga? I know sometimes love can tie us up in uncomfortable knots, so maybe it is like yoga. Many mystics across faith traditions have returned from their spiritual journeys with the message that says, love is actually all that there is. And the longer I live, the longer I continue to move through this life as a minister, the more I realize how little I actually know. Which can be challenging because folks sometimes look to me to have all of the answers. And sometimes I think maybe I do have a reasonable answer to one inquiry or another. More often than not, though, I think I have the answer, and maybe I'm close, but then I recognize that the response I have to offer does not fully describe the whole picture. And so it is with love. I remember when Article 2 of our bylaws was being debated over the last bunch of years. and it was suggested that love be placed at the center of our faith. There was a small but very vocal minority that disagreed vigorously with this decision. And I remember thinking to myself, how odd. How could anyone imagine anything but love being at the center of a faith tradition? But then I remembered that some folks on their way up have actually been hurt by something that someone called love, or have been taught a version of love that is petty or transactional. You are lovable as long as you behave in a certain way, and I will reward you for this. But if you behave in a different way, there will be consequences. In fact, if you behave in any way other than the way I want you to, then you are actually unlovable. Some of us have heard that message on the way up. And our society as a whole doesn't do a very good job teaching us about love. And that's probably because the concept of love is so difficult to grasp. In some ways, it's a feeling. And we Americans don't always do so well with feelings. It's too squishy, too intangible. But still, it does sell greeting cards, so it must have some value. Capitalism. We can always count on you to help us determine what does and does not have value in this world, right? Love is a word that we attach to 100 different things, as I mentioned in the opening. We are forced to use the same word to describe our feelings about a person that is accompanying us on our human journey for the last 50 years, but also a feeling about our favorite sports team or our favorite snack indulgence. It's no wonder we can get confused by love from time to time. And yet there it is, right at the center of our faith tradition, demanding that we prioritize it, proclaiming that it is the glue that holds our entire belief system together. I'm here to tell you in this instance, I am aware that I do not have the complete answer of what that word means. My musings, my personal search with my humanist, religious, naturalist leanings have led me to imagine love as a foundational life force, a force that compels us to cooperation and mutual respect. That simple phrase, I love you. Who even is the I that is doing that loving? Is it my pancreas? Is it my liver? Is it my heart? Each of these parts works together to keep me alive. Does that mean my pancreas loves me? I suspect that it must, because whatever it does, it's surely working very hard to keep me alive and functioning. Millions of years of evolution have created countless structures, each completely different in form and function, that somehow blend together to create me, with all of the systems that I need to maintain this thing called life in a body that is capable of pondering an esoteric concept like love. Is this what God is? Is God the force that compels this seemingly miraculous cooperation between my liver and my spleen and my eyes and my ears and my toenails to all work together to create a being that is aware of itself and able to witness the miracle of itself and all else that surrounds it? It's really little wonder that many philosophers and poets through the ages have come to the conclusion that God is love. All right, I've gone on for a bit here. I've given you a couple of things to ponder. I've explored dozens of different perspectives on this word love, but I still don't think I've even begun to scratch the surface. And one of the things I am trying to learn each and every day is that when I'm not 100% sure of my answer, that there is always a benefit for asking for help. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have this brain. It's capable of handling billions of calculations each second, but mine is only one brain. And there are 100 people in this room, each with your own amazing brains, connected to a sensing body that has likely wrestled with some version of this word over the years. So this is what we're going to do together this morning. You should have each received a blank piece of paper and a writing utensil when you entered the sanctuary this morning. And if you didn't, as we move forward, raise your hand and the ushers will help me pass out more paper and more pencils. I want to hear from you. I want to invite each of you to spend some time in quiet reflection thinking about this question. What is love? Perhaps you've already done this in life and have a definition you've already developed. And if so, write it down. Maybe take the rest of the time to reflect on what you've thought about love and see if it still fits the bill for you today. Maybe you've never stopped to think very much about love. What a wonderful, potentially scary opportunity this could be. Perhaps you've been hurt by love. Perhaps this next 5 minutes can become the next small step in your healing journey. Perhaps you're a new parent and you are beginning to realize the definition you had before you became a parent is nowhere near up to the task of describing the feeling that you have been introduced to through this new addition in your life. Perhaps you've wrestled with the demons of addiction and have been forced to find a definition of love that allows you to make healthier choices to support yourself, despite the inner turmoil you continue to feel. And perhaps you just love chocolate, or your cat, or whatever, and that feels like more than enough. Well, let's find out. I'm going to invite you to take the next 5 minutes, which may feel like an eternity, it may feel like a blink, we'll see, to just think about love. What it means universally, what it means to you. How would you describe love to a 5-year-old? How would you define it to your lover? How would you describe it at the center of our faith tradition? What is love? Take the gift of the next 5 minutes to ponder this question in silence. And if you're online, do this exercise and share it in the chat, and our folks can grab those chats and be added to our thing. And I know you're trying to think at this point, but I want to tell you what I'm going to do when you're done. I'm going to ask you to fold up your paper and contribute it to the collection basket that comes around in a little bit. Because in addition to money, love is part of the contribution that we make to the world. And I plan to gather up these contributions and reflect upon them, hopefully to expand my understanding of the concept just a little bit. But more importantly, I plan to convert them to a part of a future service that will also have love at its center. So think of this as your chance to be ministers to us all. Take the next 5 minutes, take your time, find your body, quiet your mind, and really think about this question. What is love? And as your mind and your heart and your spirit begin to whisper an answer, write it down for the rest of us to learn from. That whisper is actually a miracle. Let's see what she has to offer. What is love? All right, as we come back together, how was that? Did you come up with something? I saw a lot of papers passing into the basket. Do you think you captured it? Do you think you got to the essence? Does the definition that you came up with seem worthy of the weight of the word? Do you wish you had more time? Did you love this process? Or maybe the opposite? No matter the outcome, the beauty is that there is no wrong answer. And by definition, I'm willing to bet that no matter how wise an answer you came up with, it's likely missing some vital aspect of the concept because it was a nearly impossible assignment. But just remember this. The good news is that no one needed to come up with a single perfect answer, because we're going to collect all of your musings and I'll work to combine them into a whole which is going to become larger than the sum of its parts, which at the end of the day is as good a definition of love as I can muster. Because whatever the definition, as a wise theologian John Lennon penned many decades ago, all you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Amen. Beloveds, I hope this time was helpful for you as we are entering into the middle of this holiday season. You're going to be faced with family and friends and loved ones and challenging people and gift giving and stress and all those kind of things. Come back to what you were thinking about while we were taking that quiet time. Do we have something for the kids yeah, okay. I think there's some cookie frosting happening, kids. We haven't forgotten about you. Don't skip the thing after this. And thank you all for being here. Stay warm. Go in peace. Go in love. And enjoy some cookies. Be well.